Hello and welcome to my channel, or back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about caregiving again in a general way. Another Caregiving Unzipped episode, so to speak. Now the snow came. We were expecting snow, and a lot of snow in our area, and the snow came. Not as deep as predicted, but enough to complicate everything in our area. Road clearing has been slow, though improving. My apartment complex is one of the good ones. They cleared our internal roads early, even if that meant piling up snow behind our cars. But that's one of the reasons I live where I live and pay what I pay. They do the basics reliably. Now, the aide, the senior helper, I have scheduled for today, tomorrow, and Thursday, or had today, tomorrow, and Thursday, lives far from town, and her complex hasn't cleared their internal roads at all. She's stuck, and there's nothing she can do about it. Unfortunately, when aides call off, you're stopped up short. If you have to go to work, or you had other plans, or you just needed that time to relax and are used to them coming, so you can have your own bit of free time or freedom. It's really hard when they call out, and then when they send a replacement, temporary replacement. If you have an agency and they send a temporary replacement, a lot of times they're just fresh people who don't know much about anything about dementia or Alzheimer's or elderly care. Now, I do have another aide who lives in our complex, our apartment complex. Very convenient, no travel issues, no snow problems. But even with that convenience, being able to get here even during the weather problems, I asked the agency to take her off our schedule because proximity doesn't make someone the right fit for caregiving, whether it's dementia care, elder care, or special needs care. This is the same aide who wore distressed, fuzzy, open-faced balaclava, basically a ski mask, but one of those puffy ones. She wore that in her entire shift. The kind of thing that made her look halfway between a person and a plush bear. My dad kept looking at her, halfway confused and halfway distressed, trying to figure out what he was looking at. And imagine someone helping you with intimate care while dressed like that. She's also left a bunch of these, some women put in hair bands, little rubber things around her twisted hair, and it kept popping off and breaking. I found them all over my couch, and she's the type of person that would step over something rather than pick it up. Some trash on the floor, she'd step over it. A shirt, some clothing, she'd step over it. And she would put stuff, take a plate and put it on top of a pile of plates in the sink, and did the bare minimum before sitting on the couch for the next 2 hours. That's not caregiving, that's just occupying space. And then there's my weekend aide. I have 3 during the week. She's young, probably from another country originally, and not 100% familiar with American ways. I can only teach her how to cook eggs, what toast is, and that hot dogs are not breakfast sausages. But she never stops working. She sweeps, she mops, she does laundry, she keeps the sink clear, and is gentle and patient with my dad. She's almost perfect. Almost. And then there's my snowed in aide, the one I rely on because she's so good with my dad and she's a generally nice young person. I might not see her this week, depending on how the weather goes. She called off today and I declined a replacement because I don't want to have to train somebody new who doesn't know what they're doing. And most of what they would be doing, other than just cleaning the house, would be getting my dad up and shower and all that. If they're not familiar with that, they don't know some of the specifics, don't know how to deal with an elderly person. I can't risk it. I just can't let them come in and just let them do what they want to do. I got to be there. I got to watch them. I got to train them. I got to show them how. So I'm basically doing it myself anyway. And that's for a person who's only going to be here one time, most likely. The next day I'll have somebody else. So that's something a lot of us caregivers run into when we get those temp replacements. Now, my snowed in caregiver did call off, so I declined a replacement, yes. And I certainly declined the one who lives across the parking lot. Later, I learned just how snowed in she is. Her apartment complex hasn't cleared anything, and they're not required to by law. A lot of people don't realize that your apartment complex does not have to clear out your parking lot or even the roadways, which you think the internal roads, which you think are public roads, and they are, but there's a special thing about those where they are required. The city's not required to clear those out, and they won't. And there's no law saying or ordinance saying that the apartment complexes have to clear the road. So it depends on who you have as your property owner and manager. Little back door is there, something that should be changed. So anyway, she hopes they'll get to it, but she's not holding her breath, and neither am I. So if she calls off today, I'll accept a new aide. And then another the day after if she calls off again. And then the day after that will be someone new to replace the one I removed. I mean, last week, this Sunday, to yesterday, a lot of call outs and no aides, no help. And I know it's the weather, but part of what we have to deal with. But I've been doing this for 16 plus years, all by myself. I can cope. I can push through. We'll be okay. It wears on me harder now that I'm older and used to having help, but that's life. I even dug my car out of the snowbank behind that was pushed up behind it when they cleared the roadways or the internal roadways. I'm an old school type. That's just how we do it. And at the end of the day, this is what family caregivers do. We adapt. We absorb the call outs, the weather, the mismatches, the last minute changes, the days with no help at all. We learn to shovel cars out of parking spaces. We knew how to rearrange schedules, teach new aides how to make toast, and say no to the ones who aren't a right fit. It isn't easy. It wears on us, but we keep going. Not because we're heroes, not because we're super people, uh, but because this is our person, and this is the life we built around their care, the person we are caregiver for. Family caregivers bend so the whole system doesn't break. That's the truth of it. We give so much of ourselves, and people do not understand. They hear that you got some help, or that you stop working to care for your loved one. You think you're sitting around the house, uh, taking it easy, not having a lot to do. They're not a lot of trouble. They don't move too much. They don't do too much. They have no idea, because when you don't have somebody else here helping you, you have to be the interaction with them for the entire day. You have to keep them interested. You have to keep them awake. You have to keep them fed, cleaned, changed, showered. And it's just stacks on. It's a 24-hour day. And there are those days that they wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and get up, and they don't want to go back to bed. They want something to eat. And you can't really say, go back to bed. Because when the dementia patient gets up, starts wandering, starts wanting something, you can't leave them alone, because you can go back to bed, because they will get up and wander around. They will get into the kitchen. They will do things they shouldn't do. They will go outside, do things they shouldn't do. They will slip and fall. And you hear the yells, and you wake up, and that destroys your entire night, especially if you have to go to the hospital. So it's a never-ending thing, and you're always on constant alert. But that's what family caregivers do, and that's what outsiders who are giving us all this advice on how we should do things, how we should say things, and how we should schedule our days. They don't understand, because they have never lived in it. And if they have lived in it, they have not lived in it long enough to be successful at it. Watching somebody for one day, one afternoon, one weekend, that's not being a family caregiver. That's not being a caregiver. That's not being a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year caregiver. After a few years, it's really beginning to weigh on you. And I've been doing this for more than 16 full time. But that's what we family caregivers do. We keep the line, we hold the line, we maintain for our loved one and ourselves. Anyway, that's Caregiving Unzipped for this edition, and I will see you again at another time.